Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today bringing you my review for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Ubisoft had provided me with a week early copy of the game, and I figured, as a fan of this franchise, I would review the game for you guys. By the way, this is in no way a paid promo or a sponsored video. The reason I'm clarifying this is because I've seen a lot of YouTubers being paid to play and talk about this game, but that is not the case for me. I received a free copy early, and honestly, that's good enough for me. Now, let's get on with it and dive into this review. Starting off with the story, Assassin's Creed Syndicate tries to not waste your time. This means almost zero backstory on our two protagonists and hardly any of the real world story. This design is fine with me as it helped get the ball rolling. The goal of these two assassins is to free London from its corrupt Templar grip, as it is once again an Assassins versus Templars storyline, which has grown quite tiresome, especially when you look at Assassin's Creed Rogue, which was refreshing as you played as the role of a Templar. The antagonist, Crawford Sterrick, is one of the better villains to grace this series.
What say you, sir? Shall I come collect?
But the ending for the historical segment of the game is uninspired, rushed, disappointing to say the least. Although, I will admit this much, the real world story, yes, the real world story, left me curious and excited for the next entry in the series. The story is just a roller coaster. Like, genuinely speaking, there were a ton of high moments in this game with awesome set pieces that were exciting that I don't want to spoil for you. Unfortunately, that just made the lows stick out like a sore thumb. I mentioned earlier that there are two protagonists in this game, which is new to the franchise. Introducing Jacob and Evie Fry. Jacob is the more reckless and carefree assassin, while Evie remains composed, focused, and determined. Evie is a much stronger character than Jacob, but Jacob's story is more interesting. Each character has their own set of missions that you must complete before advancing sequences, and this allows multiple story threads, which is part of the reason why the game remained interesting during its high points. But once again, I shall reiterate, don't expect great things in this department. I guess while we're talking about not great things, I will talk about the gameplay. The combat has been overhauled, and I say that heavily in quotes because it's the same thing with new animations. The fighting felt more realistic and brutal this time around, which is actually great because one of my complaints with AC Unity was that the animations felt floaty and choppy. But that's where the good ends, because Syndicate's combat is simply mashing the attack button until your enemy's health bar glows. Then you hit the counter button. If their health bar is gray, you break their defense. That's all there is. That's all there is to it. Zero enemy types, zero variety, and only a small batch of 5 tools to boot. You also have to fight the same looking thugs in red over and over. It's monotonous, and normally I'd maybe think about ignoring these complaints in a stealth focused game, but since you find yourself in combat so often, whether it's thanks to my own mistakes or because I chose to be in combat, the issues stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, they have a fight club, for God's sakes. 5 minutes into that alone and you'll realize, holy crap, there are only 3 enemy models and they all fight in the same boring way. Normally, I'm a bit more lighthearted with my reviews, but this is unacceptable. At least in previous AC games, there were different enemies forcing you to do different things. This game doesn't even try. What they did try, and mostly succeed in, is the stealth gameplay. Assassin's Creed is more of a stealth game than ever in Syndicate, and that's a great thing. Areas are open, and I had a decent amount of options on how to get to my objective and how to tackle it. AI is smarter in the sense of detection, but when they find a dead body, they only spend moments investigating before shrugging their shoulders and moving on as if one of their comrades wasn't just killed. They just don't enter any alert status or anything. They just move on with their day because, you know, it's normal for your friends just to drop that in an area you're supposed to be guarding.
Something just isn't right here.
Some aging issues are now even more apparent thanks to other game releases. Assassin's Creed Parkour isn't nearly as good as I thought it to be thanks to a game such as Dying Light, where it lets me decide where I want a free run, not the other way around. Although the stealth gameplay in Syndicate is improved, in light of MGS5, which I won't be showing gameplay for because fuck Konami, it just doesn't stand nearly as tall anymore. On top of that, there is more disappointment hidden in its menus. There is microtransactions. Makes sense. I can really see how a AAA company that publishes and develops games annually may need an extra buck or two. When you go into customization, Syndicate offers a decent amount of options, but when you go and look back at Unity, and yes, I know it's a sin to speak positively of this game, you will notice that the options are a million times better. From weapons to cosmetics, it's all there. In Syndicate, the pickings are so slim in all of them. Only 3 weapon types, a handful of outfits, some colors, and some gauntlets. It's genuinely shocking. Like, where did it all go? There is also a new perk leveling system between both Evie and Jacob, and although the game states that both are different playstyles, that just is not the case. The perks are simple, and aside from about 2 or 3 maybe, they're all the same between the two characters. They say Jacob is a better fighter than Evie, but frankly I didn't notice a difference at all. Furthermore, you are a gang leader. You take money you earn and invest it in gang upgrades, which was slightly underwhelming as it felt very similar to the perk system, almost like an extended branch of it more than anything. You could free various parts of London by completing a range of 4 side activities, which are fun and do fit into the open world nicely. Nothing felt forced in this regard. On a positive note, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is beautiful, and London during the Industrial Revolution is sprawling and truly alive. This is mainly thanks to the addition of a grappling hook / zip line. This allows traversal throughout London's giant streets and big rooftops, which were never possible before. Hell, I'll even go to the length of saying this is the most believable Assassin's Creed game in the sense of bringing its time period to life. With all that I said that is bad about this game, I still caught that AC fever and began endlessly chasing the game's collectibles and side quests. It's a guilty pleasure. If you're a fan of the franchise, by all means pick this up. There's enough high points to really justify your purchase in the game, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. If you're looking to hop back in or looking for some spark or feel that this game will revive the series, then you are sadly mistaken and should not touch this game. All in all, fans of the series will like this, and not many others. If you skip out on this one, you're really not missing much. But that shall do it for my review for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you're thinking on this game and my thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Other than that, once again, I hope you find people enjoyed. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.